Hi guys, welcome to Fight Tonight channel. IBF, WBC Franchise, WBO, WBA lightweight champion George Kambosos is sizing up his option for his first defense of the unified crown. Last November, the 28-year-old Kambosos pulled off one of the biggest shockers of the year when he dropped and outboxed heavily favorite Teofimo Lopez over 12 rounds to capture the 4 belts at Hulu Theater at New York's Madison Square Garden. Kambosos is now looking to return, potentially on a date in May, at a big stadium in Australia. Now Kambosos wants to lure over a big name overseas to fight him on home soil. Several boxers have already raised their hands to secure the opportunity, including WBC champion Devin Haney and 3-division world champion Vasiliy Lomachenko. Kambosos is on board with facing either opponent. I love the Haney fight, and I love the WBC piece. I love the Lomachenko fight. A big name and Tank Davis as well. Ryan Garcia has got a huge name. I want to see him back in the ring first, Kambosos said. We are sitting here negotiating, making sure they will come to Australia first. That's the most important, that they will travel down. I know for a fact that Haney will and Lomachenko will. So that is a big plus right away. Lomachenko was in action last month, when he picked up a dominant 12th round decision win over Richard Comey at Madison Square Garden. And Haney also saw action last month, when he outboxed former champion Joseph Diaz over 12 rounds in Las Vegas. Friends, before starting to watch this video, I would like to ask you to subscribe to my channel. If you really enjoy the content, then please subscribe to my channel and keep watching the videos. If you are subscribed, then you receive notifications about the release of new videos. You do not even have to look for anything personally. I really want to get 100 subscribers on my channel. I'm trying very hard, absolutely every day, and I need your support. Your likes, comments, reposts to social networks. Thanks to everyone who subscribes to my channel. You are my support. Thank you so much. On April 2, the comeback of the talented and mega popular American lightweight prospect Ryan Garcia will take place. This will be the first knockout match in the last 15 months. So far, there is no information about the venue of the fight or about the opponent, but insiders claim that Golden Boy is considering only 2 options: ex-challenger from the Philippines Mercito Gasta and American Saul Rodriguez. In 2018, Gasta tried to take away the championship title from the Venezuelan champion George Linares, but lost by a decision of the judges. In 2019, the Filipino lost by knockout to Mexican Juan Antonio Rodriguez from Mexico and drew a fight with Carlos Morales from the United States. Since then, he has not entered the ring. Rodriguez was considered an avenue, but in 2019 he could not withstand the increase in the level of opposition. He knocked out Mexican Miguel Angel Gonzalez. Since then, he has held only 1 duel against an outspoken back, whom he defeated ahead of Shadow. Garcia started 2021 with a victory over the near-dead Briton Luke Campbell, but then he disrupted 2 fights in a row against ex-world champion Javier Fortuna from the Dominican Republic and Joseph Diaz from the United States. The reasons for cancelling the fights are different. Recently, Garcia negotiated a duel with a dangerous Mexican Isaac Cruz. The parties have different versions of why it was not possible to agree. Ryan wrote on social media, "You are not a pit bull, but you are a chihuahua." As you hear, the promoter of the WBC lightweight world champion Devin Haney said that his client wants to hold the next fight with the absolute champion of his division, George Kambosos. There is one fight for Devin Haney against George Kambosos in April or May in Australia for the title of a real absolute world champion. Let's arrange it, he said in an interview. Kambosos had his last fight against Teofimo Lopez at the end of November in New York. In this confrontation, George won by a split decision of the judges. thus winning the WBC franchise, WBO, IBF and WBA lightweight titles. He has 20 wins, 10 by knockout and no defeats. Haney last entered the ring against compatriot Joseph Diaz on the night of December 5. Devin won this fight by unanimous decision of the judges, thus defending his WBC belt in the lightweight category. He has 27 wins, 15 by knockout, without a single defeat. The imminent chance of regaining the title of absolute world champion eludes Vasiliy Lomachenko. Everything is going to the fact that Devin Haney will come out against George Kambosos. Despite the fact that the fans literally ordered the absolute lightweight champion George Kambosos to defend his titles against Vasiliy Lomachenko, calling the Ukrainian the most desirable opponent for the Australian, he decided to choose an invincible fighter, but Devin Haney less dangerous for himself compared to Lomachenko. This follows from the statement of the father of the American Devin Haney, Bill. I contacted Kambosos' father Jim, and as a father to a father, he gave me his word that he would do everything in his power to make his son's fight with Devin take place. He dispelled all rumors to me that Lomachenko was involved in this case. We are talking only about the fight between Kambosos and Devin, Haney said. Devin is ready to go to Australia to fight for the title of absolute world champion. He would even go to Jupiter, Haney added. However, according to rumors, Devin Haney may be forced to refuse a trip to Australia by strict anti-coronavirus restrictions in this country. Whether this is true, the American's father did not confirm, but he did not deny it either. Recall, Australian George Kambosos became the absolute world champion in lightweight, defeating Teofimo Lopez by unanimous decision in November. The pay-per-view star is currently in possession of the WBA secondary title to the full version held by George Kambosos Jr. As WBA revealed early this week, Davis and Kambosos have to meet by 2023, when the regular championship is retired forever. Davis will face a WBA order to battle the ragged Australian, potentially in the next few months or by the end of the year. Indeed, the WBA, IBF and WBO champion Kambosos altered the situation in a recent interview with media in his home country. He states he's already made offers to all the top guys, of which Davis is one. I'm coming for the big names and we're already in negotiations with everybody, Kambosos told Fox News Australia. It's going to be in May. May is going to be a great time. The build-up, the name, there is going to be the build-up. However, making the fight is not that simple. Tanks handlers Floyd Mayweather and Leonard Ellerby may not be receptive to the conditions of the event. They primarily stage Davis shows in the United States. It could prove tricky for Kambosos to persuade Mayweather and Ellerby to allow their star guy to travel down under so soon. Devin Haney, the WBC hurler, Vasiliy Lomachenko and Ryan Garcia would be the other three opponents checking their mail. Kambosos, to his credit, wants only the most significant challenges as he prepares to defend his unified straps. My entire career has been the hard road. There has never been an easy option for me. I've always had to gring, pointed out Kambosos. We've got to really let Australia know what's going on and how big this fight will be. This will be the biggest fight in Australian history. It will be a stadium fight in Sydney. We're in negotiations with both. It will be very exciting. I wouldn't be real to the crowd if I told them I'm coming back for an easy fight. What for? Out of the three potential fights, Davis would probably be the least likely to attempt a 30-hour round trip to Australia. Devin Haney took to social media on Tuesday to warn Rolando Romero to stop mentioning his name. One way for Haney to get Rolando to stop talking about him would be to defend his WBC belt against him. The unbeaten Rolando, who used to go by the nickname Rolly, has been taking shots at WBC lightweight champion Haney on YouTube, taunting him about his lack of punching power and saying he is the weakest link among the champions. I got really important announcement, but Devin Haney as a bitch, said Rolando Romero. Thanks for watching, guys. If you like this video, please subscribe to my channel.